No, please, keep the music going. That was nice. That muted trumpet just sets the tone for the morning. I'm so glad to be here with you. Can you hear this okay? Too loud? I'm thrilled to be here with you. You have to excuse me, though, if my clothes don't seem to fit or quite match. I had to buy them at the gift shop at the hotel because I came with nothing due to a stupid misunderstanding. When I was first invited to speak here, I could have sworn that she said it was called the NTAC network. So I came with nothing on. I got a lot of strange looks at the airport, although I got through security pretty quickly. Obviously not hiding anything. They were sort of growling at me at this airport until I realized that was just the name of the airport. Grr. But then I got to the Amway Grand, and I saw many of you in the lobby, and you all were wearing clothes, and I felt like an idiot. I had to quickly buy some. This has happened to me before, too, where I've misunderstood. I have no excuse. A few years ago, I was invited to keynote National Conference of the National Writing Project, and I came in on horseback to the sure, it sounds obvious now, writing with a T, but I didn't get that. I clearly have to. It was really messy for the people in the aisles, not to mention embarrassing. Got to get better cell reception, I think. In fact, now that I think of it, there was this one other time, too, when I misunderstood. An organization asked me to do some work for them called Stand for Children. I got the preposition wrong. I thought it was stand on children, and I'm still settling some of those lawsuits. Anyway, I'm delighted to be here with you. I'm dressed. I'm ready to go. You're dressed, I see now. And I have the uncomfortable feeling that every single thing I say, memorable or not, every cough and burp is going to be tweeted in real time. Fortunately, only to your followers who are also in this room, so at least we're safe like that. So anyway, I am not going to talk to you about technology. I'm going to talk to you about the other aspect of NTAC Network's plan, which has to do with the idea of project-based learning, and not only to celebrate with you that concept and revive and invite you to reflect on its meaning, but also to goose you a little, because I don't like to give the kind of talk where people just sort of go and nod and feel temporarily validated, and the next day there's nothing left. I want to invite you to think about how much further we might go in challenging the status quo and our traditional assumptions and practices that infiltrate even schools that are set on a lovely new path of projects and the useful use of technology, which is not the same as technology per se. A lot of technology used in schools, I don't have to tell you, is not particularly productive if we have ambitious goals, and in fact serves only to cement into place many of the traditional assumptions. Stuff like PowerPoint and interactive whiteboards mostly serve to keep the teacher in charge of transmitting facts to empty receptacles, but to do it with a new toy. Uh-oh. Thank you very much. Good night. We're talking about the use of technology as the use of projects or any other single criterion as a way, I hope, not merely to put a new polish on the way schools have been, not merely to have something fun to play with or something to sugarcoat the way we've been doing things, but to rethink pedagogy to ask the tough, the radical questions about education. If we're not asking the radical questions, then we're not doing right by our kids. And I use radical in the, Lydia will appreciate this, original Latin sense of the term, because radical comes from the Latin meaning root. So we don't ask the question, what should be on our rubrics for evaluating kids? We would be asking why we would use rubrics at all, given that they smuggle standardization in through the back door and don't allow us to work with kids to qualitatively think about what has happened, instead of reducing them to numbers, but now in a slightly new way, perhaps even a more complicated way that draws their attention away from the learning and toward how well they're doing and what rating or ranking they deserve. But now we have new technology, and we have new, more elaborate systems for doing exactly what we've been doing for more than 100 years. And we pride ourselves on 21st century schools that aren't really all that different in their underpinnings from 20th or even 19th century schools. That's the challenge, is to ask ourselves and respectfully ask our colleagues the radical questions. What characterizes traditional schools more than anything else is fragmentation, dividing stuff into little bitty pieces. That's the legacy of scientific management from 1911 and Frederick W. Taylor's book on the assembly line. That's the legacy of Boris Frederick Skinner. You may not have known his first two names, but you know who I'm talking about, right? Man who did his research with rodents and pigeons and wrote his books about people, that B.F. Skinner.